Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to this daily edition of Cricket Happenings, and we are in a stage in this two test matches. One is at the Sydney Cricket Ground where history was made yesterday with Michael Clarke becoming the first ever batsman at the Sydney Cricket Ground to score a triple century, and what a moment it was for Michael Clarke. The reason being this particular test was very significant for the fact that Sydney Cricket Ground was hosting his 100th ever test match, and what a way to really greet this 100th test match by the Australians, and especially Michael Clarke, who went on to make an unbeaten 329 not out with 39 boundaries and 1 6, and what a knock it was. It was the real Michael Clarke that one has known in the past, and it's absolutely great news for Michael Clarke. And what is another good thing which is happening for Australia is Michael Clarke, even though he's the captain, there is no absolutely, one does not see any burden on him. He's flowering out successfully, and he has been a successful captain too. So he has brought all those experience that he had under Ricky Ponting into use here. And take a bow, Mr. Michael Clarke, the Australian captain, such a cool customer, not out on 329 with 39 fours and 1 6. And the story of the day for Sydney was India had to toil without taking a wicket, and that it reached mammoth proportions from 325. The score reached 659 for 4 declared, and Michael Hussey, when he reached 150, Michael Clarke applied the declaration, and he was not out on 150 with 16 fours and 1 6. And let us talk about the partnership. What a mammoth partnership it was for the 5th wicket. It yielded more than 330 runs, and it was an unbeaten partnership. I'm sure it could be a record there, and Indian bowlers really toiled hard. 4 of the bowlers going for hundreds, with Zahir Khan 3 for 122, Umesh Yadav all over the place, none for 123, and Umesh Yadav is really finding test matches very difficult now. Initially Umesh Yadav was an unknown quantity for Australia, but Umesh Yadav in this test match was really sussed up by Australia, and he had figures of none for 123 to show. Ishan Sharma 33 overs, 1 for 144. Ashwin 44 overs, costing him 157 runs and no wicket. I could only say, like, Australia just prolonged the agony for India, and they went to very gigantic proportions. 659 for 4 declared. Michael Clarke played all the strokes in the book, you name it, and it was a treat to watch Michael Clarke really playing the strokes and treating the bowlers with disdain. And then 659 for 4. You can imagine the lead that Australia had. India made 191. So basically it was a lead of almost 470 runs, because right now India are 114 for 2 on the third day of this Border Gavaskar Trophy second test match, and India are trailing by 354 runs currently. India started off with Gambhir and Sehwag, and Virendra Sehwag was an early victim today, trying to crash a ball through the offside. David Warner taking the catch, a brilliant catch taken, I would say, by David Warner of the bowling of Hilfenhaus for 4. So he was the first wicket to go, 18 for 1. And then there was a partnership. Dravid was really grinding himself, in the sense he was really playing that grinding knock. But what was very important was how Gautam Gambhir could shape up, and definitely the Australian bowlers really tested Gautam Gambhir outside the off stump. But today Gautam Gambhir had a different approach to things. He decided to attack the bowlers, and that's what his natural game is, and that's what came into the fore, and that helped Gambhir really build an innings. He played some good strokes. He was not even afraid to come down the wicket to the Nathan Lyon, the right arm off spinner, and stroke him for boundaries. And he also played the other bowlers very well. Hilfenhaus definitely had a sort of wood over Gambhir by beating him towards the close, but Gambhir was there, not out on 68. The Dravid, the wall, as one has been called, it's been a big surprise that he has never been clean bowled so many times in a test series, and this time 3 times out of 4 he has been clean bowled, and today he was clean bowled by Hilfenhaus for 29, 6 fours, but it was a grinding knock. and Ilfanos was the bowler who was the most successful bowler for Australia, and Dravid was clean bowled by Ilfanos for 29. So that really says that Rahul Dravid is finding it difficult to cope with the pace and the bounce in the Australian conditions, probably due to his age factor really catching up. But well, he was gone, so that made it 100 for 2 for India. And then towards the close, Sachin Tendulkar remained not out on 8, and probably Sachin Tendulkar is getting a last opportunity here. Can he recreate what Michael Clarke did for Australia by scoring not a triple century, but at least a century? Even though India are having a backs to the wall situation here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. He had 92 runs more to make the 100th century, the magical mark. If he could make it at Sydney in this 100 test, that would be a great achievement. But Tendulkar is not out on 8 at close. Gambhir was not out on 68 with 9 boundaries. I'm not going to talk about the bowling figures. Just briefly, none for 40 for Pattinson. Ilfanos bowled well. It was the most successful. 16, 6, 37, 2 wickets. Siddle 11 overs, 7 maidens, none for 23, bowled well. Nathan Lloyd bowled just 2 overs for 11 runs. Pattinson 12 overs, 1 maiden, none for 40. He went a bit wicketless. But this match is going to be very, very difficult for India. Only the range can save India. Now, what is the main thing is 354 runs more for India to make Australia bat again in this match. Probably Australia looking at an innings defeat. India definitely have the batting, but how the batting is going to really shape up is a $1 million question. And it is very essential that Tendulkar and Lakshman fire here. 354 runs more to get. The Sydney Cricket Ground, we are into the 4th day. I'm told there's going to be a rain forecast, but India have to really play out time. It's not going to be easy, but definitely not impossible. Whether India can do it, that remains to be seen. Now let me take you very quickly, before my YouTube broadcast ends, to Sri Lanka versus South Africa in the third and final second unfoiled test. South Africa have got the upper hand here. By today, what they did is Sri Lanka resumed at their overnight score, and they were dismissed for 239. The bowlers sharing the spoils there. Dale Steyn 20 overs, 5 maidens, 3 for 56. Vernon Philander 19 overs, 7 maidens, 3 for 46, bowled superbly, and the spell that he bowled to Samaravira was really worth watching. He really beat him outside the off stump. He came close to the off stump. He started really, troubling Samaravira outside the off stump, and Samaravira was put in 2 minds, and finally gave away his wicket to Philander for 11. And then 2 wickets each to Mon Markel for 74, Imran Tahir, the right-arm batsman, are looking good for the first time ever in this test match, 2 for 54. And Sri Lanka folded there. There was not much of resistance today. Samaravira was out for 11. Jayawardene left for 30 with 3 boundaries. Sangakkara was out for 35 with 6 boundaries. Matthews 1. Chandimal was the only one who really offered brief resistance for 35 with 4 fours. Pereira made 5, 1 to Herat, Prasad 9, and that made Sri Lanka follow on with a huge deficit in front of them. And they, in the second innings, they finished at 138 for 4. It was definitely the follow-on was on, and Tirimane, the first wicket to go was Dilshan playing a loose shot against Philander, caught Boucher ball Philander for 5. Tirimane was fending at a ball at forward short leg of the bowling of Callis for 30, 2 fours. Sangakkara played a good knock, he was doing well, but then Imran Tahir had the better of him, caught Callis ball Imran Tahir for 34 with 4 fours. Mahela Jayawardene was a victim towards the close, which was a big blow for Sri Lanka. Caught Callis bowled Markel for 12, and Samaravira was there, not out on 19. Matthews looking confident, not out on 28 for 3 fours. 138 for 4. A big task ahead for Sri Lanka here. So India struggling there, Sri Lanka struggling here. Under 203 runs more to make South Africa bat again. 6 wickets remaining, and let me tell you, they are also staring at an innings defeat, like how India is staring at an innings defeat. The bowling figures. Dale Steyn 10 overs, none for 18. Philander bowled well, 9 overs, 1 for 24. Mon Markel 1 for 29. Imran Tahir 1 for 37. Callis at 1 for 13. So it is going to be another uphill task for Sri Lanka. But well, Sri Lanka will be is going to find it difficult. And also Imran Tahir has been turning the ball from the footmarks. The ball that he had one particular wicket of Thisara Pereira turned from outside the off stumps, hitting the footmarks, and she went into the stumps of Thisara Pereira. So we are looking at 354 runs more for Sri Lanka to get to make South Africa bat again. Again, it looks like the writing is on the wall. South Africa might be having a series victory here, 2-1 tomorrow. That's it from me, your host Ram, for the Cricket Happening show for today. See you all tomorrow. Thank you.